Hi everybody, this is Jill Santabanez with Nashville Entertainment Weekly, and we're back with another segment with the wonderful
Howard Wiggins of Howard Wiggins Interior Design.
And we've had Howard on the show several times. We're so blessed to have him as one of our amazing commercial sponsors and as our master of interior design. How are you today?
Just fine, Jill. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about a few things that definitely mistakes people make, especially because hiring an interior designer is just so crucial when you definitely want to focus on, of course, one room at a time is really important. And let's talk about first, when you go in and you meet a client, what are the steps that you take? Because salespeople sometimes get it wrong.
Yes, Jill. Last week I had a house call at a $4.5 million house, and when I walked in, they had everything purchased. What little bit they had in the house was from one particular store. And what I want to talk about today is you never go into one store and buy everything.
Oh, that's interesting.
When you hire an interior designer like myself, I can shop all levels and develop your own personal look and not look like you walked into X brand furniture store. So.
Right, and so let's say you're actually planning on doing one room, and you really want to get a certain look, a certain maybe time period. How do you start? Because you really have to get what you
really like. A lot of salespeople, when you walk into a furniture store, they're working for the furniture store, and they work on commission, so they're going to do the best they can to sell you everything from that one store. If you walk in and ask for a white sofa, they're going to sell you a white sofa. When you work with an interior designer, I'm going to ask questions that fill your needs. And often your needs aren't your wants. You don't really know what your needs are until the right questions are presented to you. So when you work with someone like myself, then I'm going to push you to the limit. I'm going to make your house look far better than you could ever have on your own, because you're not aware of what there is out there. You're not aware what really fills your needs. You just are influenced by TV and what you've seen.
Right.
So.
Well, let's talk about, you had a great example of your mom. She's actually, she's had a couple of design situations where you actually, this is why you got into interior design.
My mother redecorated the house 3 times in my lifetime when I was there for the 18 years. The first time was early American, because that was the trend that was going on back then. Okay. And then she changed it to Mediterranean, which looked horrible. And then she finally wised up and hired an interior designer. And that interior designer did my bedroom in black, cream, coral, and ivory, and those are still the colors I love today.
Oh,
how he knew that, or what it influenced me, really influenced my life. But the funny story about the whole thing is my dad was on the road, and we had, I'm talking everything was new. The drapes, the furniture, the TV set, there wasn't one thing left that wasn't new. He comes in, turns on a brand new TV set, sits in a brand new recliner, and didn't say one word. And Mother said, "Don't you notice anything?" He said, "Did you get your hair done today?"
Oh my gosh, that is too funny.
Yeah.
So besides being the master of interior design, you're also the master of color. Now, what does that mean exactly?
Well, I always win my customers, because if you've never hired a designer before in your life, at least have me over to consult on paint colors.
Okay.
Because paint colors change everything, and it has nothing to do with money. Just like a woman, when she changes her hair, her clothes look different, her face looks different. The same is true with your room. And most people, they're scared of paint, and I don't know why, because it's like I said, it has nothing to do with money and makes the biggest effect of anything you could possibly do.
So you actually have a location here in Nashville, and even Pam Till stopped by to see you.
I did. It's Gaslamp 2. It's right across from 100 Oaks. And Pam Till has had a lengthy conversation with me at Gaslamp 2.
That's so neat.
We were talking about color, how I'm the master of color.
Right.
And she informed me that her mother was an artist and that she was very good with color. And
I love that.
And I think she was very impressed. She took 2 of my cards with her.
So often you go into a store, and especially women, they compliment you, the salespeople compliment you on what you're wearing, how you look, kind of like small talk to gain your trust.
Right.
But you actually go about it a different way, because you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you have the history.
Yes.
With all of this, interior design, colors, and everything. So what is your approach so people can just to kind of follow up everything?
Well, like I said before, I need to find out your needs, not your want. And that is completely different. And what most people will say at the end of my jobs that I do for them, this is better than anything I could have done.
Right,
of
you're the
course it
expert.
is. I'm the expert. And I'm going to give you a more timeless look and one that is unique, that looks like Jill.
Okay.
That doesn't look like a furniture store down the street.
Right.
You know, and give you an individual look that's more timeless because it looks like your personality.
So how can people contact you? How can they get a hold of you so you can be their master of interior design?
It's simple. Just give me a call at 615-854-1468. I'll pick up my phone day or night. I'm up all hours.
And you don't just cover Nashville?
No, I do everywhere. I've done many homes in Florida because so many people here in Nashville have second homes, and once I've done one home, they'll have me do another home in some other location.
That's so incredible. So everybody contact Howard today. This has been Jill Santabanez and
Howard Wiggins Interior Design.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you, Jill. I'm Howard Wiggins of Howard Wiggins Interior Design, and today I wanted to discuss with you common mistakes that everybody makes. Listen closely, because with this first advice I give you will save you thousands of dollars, make your room look larger, and make it more comfortable. My 10-foot rule is very simple to do. What you do is you take masking tape, you tape it out on your floor in a square, 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot. And on top of that, you set another square set at a diamond shape on top of that square shape, 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot. All your furniture should be sitting partly on and partly off one of those lines on the masking tape. The reason for that, when you're 10 foot away from somebody, it's a comfortable talking distance. So if anything over 10 foot, it's uncomfortable for me to talk or anyone to talk. So you have to speak a little louder to make your point. When you place your furniture at on that diamond square that we were talking about, you have a perceived distance where your room seems larger. Most people will take their sofa and face it directly toward a fireplace. And when you do that, you have maybe 6-7 feet in front of you. But if you set your sofa on the diagonal, then you're looking into the far corner of the room. You can still see the fireplace, the view may be out the window, and you have a perceived distance of being larger. I want to discuss with you next the 3 common mistakes that everybody makes, which is what I based my book on, What Were You Thinking? Recognizing Costly Mistakes That Everybody Makes. The first rule is not making a floor plan. Before you start with any room, you should have a floor plan. The floor plan will give you a direction on what size sofa to buy, if you need 2 sofas, how many chairs, what you should be looking for. Which leads me to the second rule. The second rule is buying in the correct order. Most people will paint the room before they even get started. That's the very wrong thing to do. What you want to do is start with your big items first and work down. If you have a hardwood floor, you want to start with your area rug first. Then you want to do your upholstery, and then you want to do your tables, then your lighting, and then your accessories. And the reason for that is if you start off with your rug, which usually has a pattern or may not, or then you would do a sofa that has a pattern or may not. And when you have your sofa, you'll need to know the arm height to know what size table to do, if it's an end table or a sofa table behind it. Then the appropriate lamp on top of that, and then decide your accessories. The third item I like to discuss with you is buying in the correct order and basing your decisions on what you love. So start off with the rug that you love, buy the sofa that looks good with that, then the table that looks good with that, and then the lamp that looks good with that. I'm Howard Wiggins. Call me for your interior needs. I'm available on my cell phone, 615-854-1468. Day or night, give me a call. I'll be able to help you with your paint selections, your furniture selections, accessories, anything that you need for your interior design.
Hey everybody, this is TJ Cates with Nashville Entertainment Weekly. Our website, NashvilleEntertainmentWeekly.com. We're coming to you from Historic Music Row. I'm with
Jill Santabanez, and who do we have today?
Howard Wiggins with Howard Wiggins Interior Design.
Howard Wiggins, man, you've already been with us for a couple
awesome.
months here. We're doing a third segment, which we came by your place this weekend, and you actually show it in repetition. We're going to cover lots of items with you today because everybody loves to hear all of your advice on interior design. Let's talk about what this costume is that you're wearing today, because people are going to wonder what this is all about.
It's a time traveler outfit, and a time traveler is a person who goes and collects items from different centuries in time.
Well, how does that tie in with what you're doing, though?
Well, they had a photo shoot, and as a designer, I want to talk about personal style. And personal style is where you collect things from different periods in your life, and it kind of relates to that.
Now, we came by your booth at, where were we at this weekend?
Gas Lamp 2.
In Nashville.
And it looked like a really nice looking little den parlor or something like that. I don't know how you captured that in a flea market type atmosphere,
Very
but
cozy.
you did. I mean, it just makes everybody was just stopping by and looking at it. And then above, which hopefully everybody's watching right now, but there's a TV up there, a mirror that you have a TV behind. You come with the most creative things.
Well, I wanted to feel inviting. I have 4 chairs facing each other. So we can actually sit there, have a conversation, talk design, and watch the show.
That's pretty cool, man. Let's talk about some of the stories that you can bring. Now, you told us a really interesting story about an 82-year-old woman, that lady that had gotten remarried, and she thought her life was over, and you redecorated her house.
One of my
Great
best
story.
clients I've ever had in my life was not the wealthiest client. It was she was just at a time in her life where her 3 sons, the last one got married, her husband passed away. She was probably in around about 50-something when I met her, very depressed. I go over to the house and I said, "You've lived with 4 men. Let's do the bedroom pink. Let's do the living room yellow. Let's make it look like a woman lives here."
Right.
So it changed her life. I mean, it really did. She got a second job. She started traveling. She finally met somebody in her 80s
Wow.
Oh my
and
goodness.
remarried, and I did the house again.
How cool is that?
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's great.
And she gave me more referrals than anybody I've ever had in my life.
Love that.
Because I did her office building, I did her secretary, I did all 3 sons, I did, I could count on at least once or twice a year, she gave me a referral for decades.
I bet that's
Amazing.
really popular with you because we've seen all these videos that you're sharing and the videos that you're in with us. And then the comments that you're getting are just amazing.
Everybody
Everybody
loves
loves what you're
Howard.
doing.
Oh,
They
yeah.
love me.
They do love you.
Let's talk about how much Dolly Parton loves you, because
Oh, yeah.
you were actually in an accident and she was there at the hospital with you.
Yeah, I was. That's one of my favorite stories. I'll never forget. I was in traction. I had a broken neck, cut my ear, and I was in the hospital for 3 months. And Dolly walks in, and she's got Stella, her sister,
Oh, my
and her
goodness.
girlfriend with her.
So Nashville.
And since I could not turn my head to see her, she stood right over my head. And I'll never forget that. But anyway, my parents were sitting at the foot of the bed, and there was 2 chairs in the room. So Stella was in one, the girlfriend was the other, and Dolly was standing up. Well, my father asked Dolly, "Would you rather sit on the foot of the bed?" And I just immediately said, "Yeah, Dolly, sit on the foot of the bed so I can tell everybody I had Dolly Parton in my bed."
I don't think that many
Sweet.
people have that kind of story. You have the most
Yeah.
amazing stories, the most amazing
And he
life.
just grew up that way, which
Yeah.
I love.
He didn't think a big deal. You were talking about Andy Griffith a little while ago and No Time for Sergeants, and
Yeah.
your family was able to share meals and holidays with people like that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what everybody really likes is some of the design techniques and some things you can tell people. Let's talk about that.
Well, today I kind of wanted to wear the outfit to talk about personal style because trends are ephemeral and personal styles are everlasting. And when you think of personal styles, you think of people like Coco Chanel, Diane Keaton,
Diane Keaton is
Lauren
was-
Bacall.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lauren Bacall,
Yeah,
very
Lauren
nice,
Bacall,
very nice.
yeah.
And Diane Keaton's always had her own style, and it stayed with her through her,
And
even
the way
since
she
it started
dresses
like an
and in her home. She designs homes. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Incredible.
She was at the Antique.
We're still
and
going to
Garden
hire
Show.
you, though.
Yeah,
Of
she was
course,
at
only
She's
Howard.
number 2 for us.
She was at the Antique and Garden Show, and she invests in homes, decorates them, and then resells them. And
That's
And Lauren
wonderful.
Bacall, what is she doing? She just likes nice designs.
well, she's just an old
She's very
movie star,
classy.
and just kind
Yeah.
of had her look about her.
She has
did.
beautiful
And-
cheekbones.
Yeah.
She does. And Coco Chanel, of course, the
Oh,
fashion
Coco
designer.
Chanel. if, like I said, I've shown her home before, show it again. It's
Jill's pretty frugal with what she spends on clothes. She looks like $1 million all the time.
she does.
Yes,
But
thank
let's talk
you.
about other ladies that go a little overboard. Let's talk about the comparison
Well,
there.
I learned a new statistic the other day that the average woman spends over $100,000 on her lifetime. And that is not counting their purses, their shoes, their makeup, their hair, their spa treatments, and all that.
Right.
And think about how much you have invested in your home furniture. And you see your home furniture every single day of your life.
Exactly.
And your home is your refuge. I mean, people spend tons of money to take a vacation for a week or two and spend thousands of dollars, but yet they can't spend $400 on a lamp that's never going to wear out. You look at it every day.
Yeah.
You can pass it on. You can change the shade on it, and you have no problem with it. And people think they have to live with their mistakes they make. If they make a bad purchase, they still try to use it in their room.
Yeah.
Right.
If you make a bad purchase in your clothes, you give it away or throw it away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, you don't try
And you
to-
buy more.
And you buy more. But I had a lady just the other day had bought 2 pictures that she saw that she liked and had me out. It didn't fit anywhere in her house, and she was trying to force it. It's like, they're not even that expensive. Just let them go.
Right.
You
They're
know?
like bad shoes. Just
Yeah.
get them out. They make more.
Well, it's when you do a design, it's almost like cooking. One ingredient can spoil the whole.
It'll change everything.
It changes
And if you get something a
The
great
wrong
outcome,
spice.
it's like, what did I do right? That's
Exactly.
great.
Exactly.
I never go for recipe books. I kind of go along, so I try to remember. Well, that's really funny about the money thing. I can definitely see that. Jill and I have been going through with our house this year and doing a lot of changes to it because I've been waiting a couple years, and it's kind of fun to do one little change this week, and next week we'll do something different. And you taught us some really good things about starting at the floor, work your way up to the ceiling.
Correct.
I like the things you're saying are really, to you, it may not seem that important, but to other people that are going through things right now, those are all really important.
Let me tell you, I've been to a lot of other designers' talks, and you look at magazines and design books. The best you can get is what manufacturer made this, or the article's going to talk about the designer or his client. Nobody's really helping anybody, and I want to help you.
Actually go
because-
into the home.
Definitely go
not
into
just
the
do
home.
like a telephone consult or anything, but you actually go into the home.
Yeah, but I want to be able to. I don't come in and say, get rid of everything, we're going to do my look. I look at your style and create from there. And I want to take your style and make it feel like you, not me. But I also want to teach you why. I mean, when I say don't do this, I'm going to tell you why I'm going to do it. If I
Right.
say paint the ceiling black, I'm going to say it's to draw your eye up, to make your ceiling look taller. I'm going to have explanations on why I want you to do something or why I don't want
I
you
like
to do
it.
something.
You've kept track with trends of the past, why history is actually kind of like fashion designers. Everything has a start.
Well, he's in
And
a time
everything should
traveler.
have
He
a
even
purpose.
keeps track of things in
Oh,
the
yeah.
future. He said he stays
That's
4
right.
years,
Punk right
4 years
there.
ahead. So time travel
and
goes
actually,
forward.
Design is a pendulum swing.
Yeah.
What is ever in, whatever's in right now went with what's before and it's going with what's coming. And that, just like fashion, it cycles. I mean, what the children wear now is what I wore when I was a teenager.
Isn't that funny?
Right.
You know, it just, if you just wait around, it's going to come back again.
It all comes back.
We go around town in Nashville like a lot of people do, and we go to a lot of estate sales and things. And it's really interesting to see some of the way that people they've not redecorated in 30, 40, 50 years.
No.
And some people, it's so trendy, and then they're so proud of their furniture. So you're able to go in there and stay within someone's budget, and they can redo their home.
And
I say-
somebody's square space, which I
I
love.
don't like the word budget.
Okay.
Because budget only means what you have to spend now.
Okay.
Don't take your money and try to do everything you want to under a budget. You don't know how much things cost.
Right.
I mean, I could go and say, I've never cut grass in my life. I could say I want a lawnmower for $200. I don't know what they cost.
That's a pretty good lawnmower.
you know, but I don't even know what they cost. So you don't have, especially if you haven't shopped in 30 years, you
Yeah,
have no
exactly.
idea what you're
Great
supposed
point.
to spend.
Right.
Another good
So,
point.
spend what you can for now and buy later. And when you talk about doing your house, it's like clothing. You really never stop. Because you edit. You say, this looks so out of date, I need to replace it. Or I still love this, what will make it look better? Just like you do your clothes. I could go shopping every single day and buy something
Right.
for myself as far as clothing goes.
Jill
The
thinks I
same is
can
true.
too.
Yeah, everybody can.
I like
That's why
to
I
shop.
guess they spend
I do.
$100,000. You know.
I probably have more shoes than Jill at this point.
I think so.
Which is pretty sad.
Yeah.
Let's tell everybody where they can get in contact with you.
I'm at Gaslight 2, which is across from 100 Oaks.
That's a cool place.
You can call me. Like I said, I'm at my phone all the time, and that's the best way to reach me.
Okay, very good. Well, thanks again, man. We appreciate you so much.
It's always wonderful to
and
see you.
it's so much fun to watch all the comments and the way that you communicate with everybody. And everybody really wants to learn, and you're so willing to teach us.
I do want to teach you. I really
You've
want to
taught us
help.
a lot in the past couple
I want to help people because they need help. They really do need help. You need to call me.
Exactly. And you also need to friend him on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to his YouTube page.
His link is right above us right now. Y'all reach out to Howard Wiggins, Interior Design, #Interior Design. This has been TJ Cates with Nashville Entertainment Weekly.
Jill Santabanez and
Howard Wiggins.
Hey everybody, this is TJ Cates with Nashville Entertainment Weekly. We're coming to you from Music Row. We're talking to a man with a really big history with the Opry, with a lot of home designs. Who are we talking to today?
It's Howard Wiggins of Howard Wiggins Interior Design.
When y'all see the pictures and everything we're going to share, you'll be blown away. If you've wondered what these mansions look like in Brentwood, Franklin, and Belmead, this is the man that's in charge of making them look like they look like. Let's talk about what you're doing.
Well, I've got a new book coming out. It's Christmas at Designers' Homes Across America that's out this year.
So let's talk about some of the things that people could do to like to invite you into their home to take over their house for Christmas, but also to be a part of what you're doing. How exactly does that work?
I'm looking for a client that has a home that I can present and be an international book around the country. And I will have control over the colors and the Christmas decorations that are going to be in that book. They can be mentioned if they want to. They can be anonymous if they want to. And I'm thinking of using some untraditional colors such as navy, teal, red, some unusual colors for Christmas.
Now you're headed to the market down in Atlanta. We were just talking about that. I actually got to go with the designer about 3 or 4 years ago, and I was blown away. Now, is that somewhere that you kind of see what's coming up? Because like us simple people that we think we're designing, there's things ahead of the game that we need to know, like trends.
When you go to market, it's always ahead of the times.
Yeah.
I mean, when I come back to Nashville, I think, oh, we're behind times because I'm seeing things probably 2 years or 3 years ahead of time. So I know what's going to be coming. So therefore, it's not dated.
That's pretty cool, man. Well, let's talk about your Opry. Let's jump into that and your background, how you're tied in with Nashville.
Sure. My father was Little Roy Wiggins. He played with Eddie Arnold. Steel guitar. He's in the Steel Guitar Hall of Fame. All my Christmas dinners were with Eddie Arnold and Minnie Pearl.
Wow.
So, and one story of my father's is that Eddie Arnold had fired everybody in his group, and it was included Chet Atkins and Colonel Parker.
Yeah.
And when he fired Colonel Parker, he gave him $35,000 severance pay, and with that money, he bought Elvis Presley
For $35,000.
for $35,000. And then there was Chet Atkins, and everybody knows the story on Chet Atkins.
Yeah.
So my father always said, "I wish I was fired. It would have been better off."
Maybe getting fired is good luck. 35 grand.
Yeah.
Let's buy Elvis Presley. And we're right here where we are on Music Road. Chet Atkins. They just tore down a bunch of buildings on Chet Atkins Drive, and now they have a new building that's going up with condos with his name. I don't think you ever saw it coming.
No, not at all.
It's exciting. You've been established in Nashville a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you live in Brentwood, and some of the pictures that we're sharing through this interview, it's showing some of the things you're doing. What is it? And I like the story of how you got into what you're doing, because you're actually going to be a veterinarian. I think.
I was a veterinarian for 1 year, studying veterinarian for 1 year in college, and I called my parents and said, "I don't want to do this anymore." And they said, "Well, there's a design school going down the street. You're good at that. You want to do that?" And I said, "Sure. Anything to get me out of what I was doing."
What was it that connected you to it? Because you obviously have a gift. I mean, you would have probably been a designer anyway.
I think the design school taught me to appreciate other things besides antiques. My heart is into the antique love. I even have a booth at Gaslight 2 here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Very nice.
But design teaches me to appreciate other people's style besides what I personally like. So every time I approach a client, I want to do it their look, not my look. So I don't tell them to start over and do whatever's in, because whatever's in is going to go out.
Yeah.
So you want to build upon what you have and make it look better.
I've been a home builder and a realtor for 20 years, and sometimes I see people that go in. It's very trendy in Nashville right now, the white houses and the cedar. But 10, 12 years ago when I was building, it was a lot of French country. And I was like, I urge people, don't go the total French country look, because it's not going to last forever. But sometimes we go in some of these homes in Brentwood, and it looks really nice. So,
Anything that looks well, looks well. If you actually Google Coco Chanel's apartment in Paris,
yeah.
it's over 100 years old. It's got mirrors, black oriental screens, and just beautiful. If you'll Google that, that's classic design. That stood the test of time of 100 years.
That's a challenge that I think people try to do it themselves. Well, let's talk about some of the people that you affiliated with in these books, because I was pretty impressed.
When I was in Andrew Martin Interior Design, and I'm one of the world's 35 leading interior designers, I'm in a book with Ivana Trump, George Harris of the Beatles, Jane Churchill, which is Churchill's granddaughter, quite a few impressive people.
Yeah.
And then the book that I'm currently in,
That book,
the Christmas book, Christmas Designers' Homes Across America. I'm in the book with Joe Reggiano, Christopher Racco, who does the Christopher Racco Christmas ornaments, and several other big designers.
That's pretty cool to be included with people like that. All right, so y'all don't forget, if you want to be the home that he comes in and decorates for Christmas, let's contact him now. Let's tell people where to find you at.
It's easy. You Facebook me, Howard Wiggins Interior Design, 615-854-1468 is my phone number. I have my cell phone on me all the time. Call me day or night. It makes no difference to me.
Well, thanks so much for coming in, man.
Thank you.
It's really an honor. And I'm going to learn from you, because Jill jokes because I like to design, but not at your level. But I do kind of like to have something look kind of cool. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been great to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
This has been TJ Cage with Nashville Entertainment Weekly and
Howard Wiggins.
Hi, this is Jill Santamanez. We're back with the television show Nashville Entertainment Weekly, and we have a very special guest today. Who do we have today?
Howard Wiggins of Howard Wiggins Interior Design.
Actually, the master of interior design here, and we're very lucky to have him on the show. Now, tell us, why are you the master of interior design?
I'm basically the master of interior design because I'm a master at choosing colors. Basically, you have the colors that are on the color wheel and the combinations within that wheel. Those are personalized colors. They personalize your space. Neutrals depersonalize your space, and the only time you want to depersonalize your space is when you're selling your home. Colors like gray, tan, and white don't even appear on the color wheel.
Great to know.
Yeah. When you keep your home in all neutral colors, it's like you're wearing the same color over and over and over.
Got to change it up.
And you'll soon feel the need to add color to your space. Think of it when you do your home and choosing colors of your home, it's like a garden. If you keep your colors the same color throughout, it's like you're standing in a garden. But if you vary your colors from lights to dark and change them from room to room, it's like you're walking in a garden.
And you really need to personalize it to not the trends of today, not the trends of yesterday, but really your personal style, your personal self, what you love.
Most people cannot do their house all at once. It's going to take years to accumulate everything you need to make your home look good. So if you start in 2015, it may be 2025 time you got everything completed. So if you start in a time period and stay in that time period, it's going to look like that time period.
Gotcha. So don't follow what's on TV. Really call Howard to talk about your style, and then you can definitely work around that. Now let's talk about white trim.
White trim's very important. Nearly everybody you know, 99% of everybody you know has white trim. And the reason they have white trim, they don't even know. If you look through history, and in the 1700s when houses start becoming homes, they had, wood was prevalent, so they made their trims look like tortoise or marble or gilt, some other material besides wood. If you go into the 1800s, then they didn't have paint stores to choose colors. So what they did, they mixed their colors up. And you'll see different colors on trims and walls that don't even match. If you go into the early 1900s, they started using wood trim and walnut and cherry, and that became popular. But the reason we started choosing white is, or people using white, is when the soldiers came back from World War II, there was a housing shortage. So what you had to do is build these bungalow houses, put them up fast,
Kind of really
quick, and they started using white trim because it was cheap. It went with everything, and you could put them up fast.
Yeah.
Put them up fast. As the soldiers' family started to grow, and they used to show homes without them being staged, a builder would put in beautiful detail work and their trim work. And the first thing you walk into the space, you say, "Oh, look at this detail that this builder put in this home. He must be a great builder." In actuality, you don't want someone to walk in your home and see your trim over your possessions, your artwork and your furniture. It's like a lady having eyeshadow that overpowers her eyes. You want to choose a color that complements your eyes. Now, there is an exception. If you want white trim, you need to have white in your space, like a white leather sofa or white flooring or marble or something. So you take the color from the floor and bring it up to the ceiling.
So let's talk about, because everybody has different spaces, and it's so important, besides trim, besides color of the walls, when you're decorating, you also have a hand in actually selecting furniture.
Oh, yes.
So let's talk about that, because when you buy a condo, let's say it's a smaller space, you really want to buy some furniture that actually accents, that goes with the value of your home.
Yes, Nashville's growing, as you can see with all these high-rise. I'm perfect for these high-rise apartments because if you're paying
Any size.
top dollar, yes, true. If you're paying top dollar for your space, you want it to reflect like you spent that
Right.
money. You don't want to pay top dollar for a small space and then use apartment-type furniture in
No.
it. Then it looks like you live in an apartment and people don't know you paid the money that you did.
Exactly. And you say, and you work at an amazing space.
Gas Lamp 2. It's right across from 100 Oaks. You can come see me there anytime. Ask me questions about design. I'd be happy to talk to anyone. I'm usually there 7 days a week unless I'm going and shopping for a client or meeting with a client.
So let's talk about furniture for a minute, because you were telling me that some people, younger people, for some reason, they don't appreciate antiques. Because I believe furniture, over the years, especially older furniture, it keeps its value. It was made better, great quality, and you can actually put pieces that are antique, old and new together, and it'll look beautiful.
I'm the master of eclectic. And eclectic is, I feel like a home should show your heritage, your personal taste, not a time period.
Right.
And you do that by having, if you'll visit me at Gas Lamp 2, you'll see that I have.
See him, right?
If you'll see that I have some new items and some old items. And to somebody not trained in antiques, you don't know what's old and you don't know
Can't even
what's
tell
new.
the difference,
Can't
right?
even tell the difference. So you're just creating a space that makes you feel comfortable. And it's not what you like. There's a difference between a lot of people thinking eclectic is just using everything together. There's a reason you use those items together.
Right.
I like to say there's a difference between eclectic and neglectic. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you're just buying what you like, it's going to look neglectic.
Right. And let's talk about, because you've been a part of the music scene for a very long time, your family especially, and let's talk about, you kissed Dolly Parton.
I did kiss
You
Dolly
did.
Parton, and it makes me blush every time I talk about it. But my dad was on the Grand Ole Opry, and I saw Dolly in the dressing room every Saturday up until the time she made 9 to 5.
Amazing lady.
And I have pictures of it, and I'll have it here for proof.
Right.
But basically, she just looked at me, and I looked at her, and there was the kiss.
That is amazing. She's the sweetest lady. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you love her music like we all do.
Oh, I do.
Here in
And let me tell you,
Nashville.
Dolly Parton told me when she first started, before she was famous, that she was going to write children's books when her singing
Really?
career was over. And she was in her 20s at that time.
Sweet.
And look what she has done.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost
Incredible.
like she's lived her life.
Dollywood. Hello.
Well,
I
it's
know.
almost like she lived her life before, and she's correcting all the mistakes that she didn't do. She has it all mapped out.
That is incredible. And you were a part of it.
I wouldn't say I'm a part of it, but I'm involved with it.
I think anybody that her fans, she appreciates just like you do, everybody that you work with.
She talks to everybody the same. She'll talk to me the same as if I were the president or you were the Queen of England. We're all the same. And the one thing I
Genuinely.
learned from Dolly is if you listen to her a lot, she says the same stories over and over and over. And they're true stories, just like my stories about design. So there's not a question you can ask me or ask her that she doesn't have an answer for.
Thank you again, Howard, for being here. And this has been Jill Santabanez with the television show Nashville Entertainment Weekly. And who do we have today?
Howard Wiggins of Howard Wiggins Interior Design. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Howard. Hi everybody, this is Jill Santabanez with Nashville Entertainment Weekly, and we're back with another segment with the wonderful
Howard Wiggins of Howard Wiggins Interior Design.
And we've had Howard on the show several times. We're so blessed to have him as one of our amazing commercial sponsors and as our master of interior design. How are you today?
Just fine, Jill. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about a few things that definitely mistakes people make, especially because hiring an interior designer is just so crucial when you definitely want to focus on, of course, one room at a time is really important. And let's talk about first, when you go in and you meet a client, what are the steps that you take? Because salespeople sometimes get it wrong.
Yes, Jill. Last week I had a house call at a $4.5 million house, and when I walked in, they had everything purchased. What little bit they had in the house was from one particular store. And what I want to talk about today is you never go into one store and buy everything.
Oh, that's interesting.
When you hire an interior designer like myself, I can shop all levels and develop your own personal look and not look like you walked into X brand furniture store. So.
Right, and so let's say you're actually planning on doing one room, and you really want to get a certain look, a certain maybe time period. How do you start? Because you really have to get what you
a lot
really
of salespeople, when you walk into a furniture store, they're working for the furniture store and they work on commission, so they're going to do the best they can to sell you everything from that one store. If you walk in and ask for a white sofa, they're going to sell you a white sofa. When you work with an interior designer, I'm going to ask questions that fill your needs, and often your needs aren't your wants. You don't really know what your needs are until the right questions are presented to you. So when you work with someone like myself, then I'm going to push you to the limit. I'm going to make your house look far better than you could ever have on your own, because you're not aware of what there is out there. You're not aware what really fills your needs. You just are influenced by TV and what you've seen.
Right.
So.
Well, let's talk about, you had a great example of your mom. She's actually, she's had a couple of design situations where this is why you got into interior design.
My mother redecorated the house 3 times in my lifetime when I was there for the 18 years. The first time was early American, because that was the trend that was going on back then.
Okay.
And then she changed it to Mediterranean, which looked horrible. And then she finally wised up and hired an interior designer. And that interior designer did my bedroom in black, cream, coral, and ivory, and those are still the colors I love today.
Oh,
how he knew that, or what it influenced me, really influenced my life. But the funny story about the whole thing is my dad was on the road, and we had, I'm talking everything was new. The drapes, the furniture, the TV set, there wasn't one thing left that wasn't new. He comes in, turns on a brand new TV set, sits in a brand new recliner, and didn't say one word. And Mother said, "Don't you notice anything?" He said, "Did you get your hair done today?"
Oh my gosh, that is too funny.
Yeah.
So besides being the master of interior design, you're also the master of color. Now, what does that mean exactly?
Well, I always win my customers, because if you've never hired a designer before in your life, at least have me over to consult on paint colors.
Okay.
Because paint colors change everything, and it has nothing to do with money. Just like a woman, when she changes her hair, her clothes look different, her face looks different. The same is true with your room. And most people, they're scared of paint, and I don't know why, because like I said, it has nothing to do with money and makes the biggest effect of anything you could possibly do.
So you actually have a location here in Nashville, and even Pam Till stopped by to see you.
I did. It's Gaslamp 2. It's right across from 100 Oaks. And Pam Tillis had a lengthy conversation with me at Gaslamp 2.
That's so neat.
We were talking about color, how I'm the master of color.
Right.
And she informed me that her mother was an artist and that she was very good with color. And
I love that.
And I think she was very impressed. She took 2 of my cards with her.
So often you go into a store, and especially women, they compliment you, the salespeople compliment you on what you're wearing, how you look, kind of like small talk to gain your trust.
Right.
But you actually go about it a different way because you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you have the history.
Yes.
With all of this, interior design, colors, and everything. So what is your approach so people can just to kind of follow up everything?
Well, like I said before, I need to find out your needs, not your want. And that is completely different. Mm-hmm. And what most people will say at the end of my jobs that I do for them, this is better than anything I could have done.
Right,
of
you're
course
the expert.
It is. I'm the expert.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give you a more timeless look and one that is unique, that looks like Jill.
Okay.
That doesn't look like a furniture store down the street.
Right.
And give you an individual look that's more timeless because it looks like your personality.
So how can people contact you? How can they get a hold of you so you can be their master of interior design?
It's simple. Just give me a call at 615-854-1468. I'll pick up my phone day or night. I'm up all hours.
And you don't just cover Nashville?
No, I do everywhere. I've done many homes in Florida because so many people here in Nashville have second homes, and once I've done one home, they'll have me do another home in some other location.
That's so incredible. So everybody contact Howard today. This has been Jill Santabanez and
Howard Wiggins Interior Design.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you, Jill.